Hello, darlings. My name is Jonelle, and this is my Golden Year vlog, where I vlog about the highs and lows of my 20s. Don't I look so regal in this dress? Like, I made it. I made it for a wedding. And I actually was sewing up until the last hour before you're supposed to leave. And with that dress is 99% finished. I went to this wedding and I didn't serge nothing. So I am so proud of this dress for holding up. Let me just stand up a little bit. You can't really see all of it, but ooh, look at it, and look, it's like purple. It's purple. It's one of the dresses one of the fabrics from my last hurrah of buying fabric until I got through 6 projects or 6 months of not buying fabric. And this is gorgeous. Like, I love this. I will finish it. I gotta just serge it and hem it, and that's really it. I went to the wedding and was afraid of him, but nobody said anything. It was a very nice, classy affair until the music played. But I was able to dance and shake it, and this dress did not fall apart. And let me grab the pattern right quick because I want to show y'all. And I'm pretty sure it's out of print at this point. And look. This dress has pockets. It has pockets, okay? And there is a slit up this. There's a slit. I'm gonna make it higher. I think it's supposed to be higher. But yes, this dress is gorgeous. And I use this pattern. It's Simplicity 2180. The reason why I think it is out of print because I bought it back when I was in high school. And it has a lot of reviews on Pattern Review. And they're all pretty positive. I will say this is a very easy make. It is a little awkward with the shoulders, but I had to have, like, when I wore it to the wedding, I had to have Fred tie it because I tried to tie it by myself and, like, it's a little saggy. But when Fred did it, he did it fine. Just trying to get the date on here because it's a fun pattern. And it's supposed to be for, like, I'll say it has, like, the evening version and the day version. I did view B. And I just shortened it because I am 5'1". And I didn't even have to shorten the bodice. Usually I have to like shorten that because I have a shorter torso. But nope, and this is how it's supposed to fit in the back. And this is how it looks right now. Which is almost there. And fun fact, I tried to make this back when I was in high school. I cut most of the pieces. But I lost the back piece right here. This is the only piece that I lost because I was a very chaotic sewer as a high schooler, and I just drafted it myself. Like, it was a pretty easy piece to draft, and it's helping me challenge myself to just, make my own patterns. So maybe a year or 2 from now, I might finally have the confidence to have my own patterns. Maybe. Because I look at these sewing patterns and I'm like, man, I wish that they were just slightly different and they were more me. And other people might be thinking the same thing. When I started sewing, it was all boring and blah. It was Sewing with Nancy. Mimi G came, she changed the game. But even now, like when I look at some of Mimi G's stuff, like I still like her fit like the most of most pattern designers because she's still very stylish and figure flattering. But I got like got a twist to it. Like I could say the South got something to say when it comes to some of these patterns that I see. But I really enjoyed making this dress, and I'm glad that it was mostly finished and that it was wearable for the night. I actually don't even know when I'm gonna wear it again. Like, it's a very nice formal dress. I did wear it to a wedding in June, but this dress could be worn multiple times, multiple engagement parties, and I don't mind being an outfit repeater. I actually think about our ancestors or previous generations where they only had 2 good dresses. They had 2 good dresses that they wore, like one for Easter and one for Christmas. That was the only 2 times a year they got dresses. And it really wasn't until recently when Americans were able to get things mass produced and have closets full of things that they only wear once a year. So I am really trying to lean into like the slow fashion era and, you know, making quality pieces that last. And this also, if you're into the sewing world, if you're not, you're probably gonna be like, what is she talking about? But I really like 1950s fashion, and not the fashion, not the values. And there is a modern pattern designer. Her name is Gertie Hirsch, and she does like vintage twist stuff. And what I like about this is it's similar to something called a hostess gown, which she has a very great pattern for, and also her waterfall dress. And the waterfall dress is similar to this, where it has like the long silhouette, I guess, and then there's like a cape in the back. And then the hostess gown, it's like there's like a tie front, and it's like the skirt opens. So I will keep sewing more projects. I have to do a recount because I think I actually reached my project limit already. But luckily for me, I haven't found any other fabrics at work that have inspired me. I have been going to Goodwill and looking at the linens because ever since I found these cool pair of linens a couple months ago, I'm like, okay, this is where the fabric's at. And like I am obsessed with strawberry themed stuff. And so I was sort of looking for strawberry linens for a certain look that I'm trying to do. And I also wanted to help my friend make their wedding outfit. And I was like, let's thrift embroidered tablecloths instead of trying to like buy these like expensive embroidered fabrics. So that's why I have been in the linen section. But lucky for me and for you, I haven't found anything. And I'm still just sewing through my stash. I like that I have a break from con season. I'm not going to any more cons, possibly until Anime Week in Atlanta, which is in December this year. And that gives me time to actually make some functional clothes. I am sort of in a transition point in terms of like what I'm doing with my career and everything. And so I need clothes for actual like presentations. Like I'm actively fundraising, and that involves me dressing nice, wearing a dress like this to galas and networking with people. And you know, I like to wear things that I made with fabric I got from work to show people like this is gonna be trash, but now it's fashion. And you know, this has helped someone like me have access to clothing that fits them well, makes them feel great, and be the best person they can be. So that's been exciting. I don't have any more projects planned. I usually just let the fabric inspire me. And I know my room does not look the best right now, but trust and believe, baby. I have been organizing this room. And what makes it more organized is when I use more of the stuff that I bought. I don't want to say I have like a crafting you know, some people hoard craft supplies. I've seen it with my own eyes. I think I used to have that problem before I discovered Creative Reuse Centers, because I used to hold on to things thinking I could never let them go, or I didn't know what to do with it. Now it's like at work I maybe buy things like I buy things once a month, but I make a pile of things, and then at the end of the month I look at that pile. I'm like, do I need this? Do I not need this? And most times, like, I only add to that pile like once or twice a month, and then sometimes I'm just like, I don't even need this, and I put it back. So I think I'm good at it. But I understand that, you know, and also when you are a crafter, sometimes you know you need to stock up on certain things. Like, people will donate like piles and piles of buttons to us because you never know when you needed that button. I'm proud of them for donating those buttons to us, because you finally learn to just let it go. And I actually do not have a bunch of buttons in my stash. I rarely use them. I am finally getting comfortable with making button down anything because I learned how to use my button holder. And I'm like, okay, Janelle, it's time to step up your clothing. Like, buttons help. Zippers, like, I'm a zipper fiend. There's a zipper on the side of this dress. That was very easy to install. But it comes to buttons and like snaps. Snaps is the next thing, so I'll get there. So yeah, that was my most recent sewing project. Like I said, I love this dress. I'm wearing it right now. Just so I can be queen of the house and to feel elegant, whatever that means. whenever I think of elegance, I think of the women who came before me in my family. I actually was inspired by a dress that my mom wore about the time when she was pregnant with me, when she was my age, 26. And it was the fit of the dress and the fabric was inspiration for this dress that I chose. Now this is slightly different. Like hers was like more of a blue, but it was still like maxi length, and it had a different like neck. Hers was like had like an open neck, and mine's of course has this boat neck. But I showed my mom, and my mom was like, "If I had known you like that dress, I would have kept it." And I was like, "No," but that's okay. Because maybe one day she'll find the dress in my grandparents' house. If not, I got this nice recreation, and I love it. Also, let me see if I can grab this real quick because I want to show another pattern that I might work on. Okay. Yeah. So I have been trying to check the patterns more at work because for me the patterns are harder to shop than the fabric, but sometimes the patterns are more important. Because one thing, I'll have all this fabric and then I'm like, I don't even know what to do with it because I don't have the design in mind. I'm not quite a fashion designer yet. Yes, I picked the fabric and I sort of pick the like which cut that I want to make, but I'm slowly venturing into that world of modifying patterns and then making my own. So my most recent addition, I really want to get into making more dresses that I could just throw on because it's so easy to look elegant in a dress, to look put together, because all I need to do, I just smacked myself, all I need to do is just make a jacket to go with it, get some boots or whatever, and I can translate this between the summer and year round. That's another part of capsule sewing that I'm trying to do, is just making things I can wear year round. And with this, I have a love-hate relationship with this dress pattern. If you can see, it doesn't have a lot going on. It's like a fit and a flare, and it's petiteable. But the neckline is pretty basic. It honestly looks like things that I wore as a child to the Kingdom Hall and the church. But I want to actually work on modifying this neckline, like retracing this pattern piece, and maybe adding like a scoop neck or heart or sweetheart. Like I'm letting this be my inspiration for experimenting with new necklines and just see where it goes. And then I got the skirt. This also reminds me of something from the Kingdom Hall. But I do like skirts. I love skirts. I just never really wear them because I don't ever really find skirts that I like in the store. I went to a clothing swap and I got a skirt that I have a love-hate relationship with right into this point because I was really excited to go to this clothing swap, but nothing fit me. Like I hate being told that I'm not a skinny white girl in the most random ways, and that was at that clothing swap. Like I really love the person who hosts them and the purpose of them, but I'm sitting here like none of this fits me. Hi, I'm back. I ended the last part of this early because dogs started barking and I had to figure out what was going on. But yes, I know I wrapped up the skirt part of the video, and I wanted to talk more about this recent customer service experience that I had. I think it's interesting how we respond to good and bad customer service experiences. And so like I recently had to return something with UPS, and when I got the return email, all of the pictures were broken. Like I don't know why, I don't know how that happened, but I couldn't get the QR code to come up. However, there was a line that said, show the UPS worker this number and they can still pull up the QR code. I said, bet. I went to the UPS store on Thursday, the one by my job, and I was trying to explain, like, the QR code isn't coming up, but they said they can use this number. And she was like, no, we can't do that. I was like, but they said, she's like, nope, the service is bad in here. That's probably why the photo hasn't come up, so go outside and try again to get the photo up. I said, okay. And like, I know a broken photo link when I see one, but I said, okay, let me try it. It didn't work. She would not type the number. I did not want to argue with her. So I went to the UPS store by my house today because I'm like, I need this to get done. And like, I had some apprehension because I was like, maybe she's right, but also like, I don't want to look dumb again in front of the worker. But I know what the email said. So I went in a UPS store, and the woman, she was like, you know how like super perky black women have golden retriever energy? That's how she was. And she's just like, hi, hello, how can I help you? And I was like, I got this number with this, company return or whatever. And she's like, okay, yeah, show me what's the name of the company, blah, blah, blah. Pull it up. Less than 5 minutes. She had that packing slip. She even offered to put that my return in a new package to like avoid damage, even though it was already damaged. Like, less than 5 minutes. And I'm just like, that's what I like about like customer service, when they listen to you and they help you the best that they can, versus like, no, we can't do that. And I think that's how I operate myself with customer service. I do my best to help you, but also I'm just like, I can only do what I can do. And so I was riding a high. I was like, let me just keep going with my day. There's a Five Below that just opened in this shopping plaza, so let me walk down to it. And this is where I'm like, am I a grandma? I must be a grandma, because I was walking to the Five Below, and there's a woman. She had 2 kids. One was in a stroller, and one was sort of like playing. And they're like a toddler. It's probably like me and my brother's age difference. And so she's trying to get in the door, and the toddler, he's like free. He's not in the stroller, but there's a baby in the stroller. And he grabs one of the balls that are outside at Five Below. He's trying to play with it. And these 2 young men come up, and they start playing. Like young, they're not young men. They're probably my age. Like they're in their 20s. They come up, and they see her trying to open the door, and then they don't help her. Like they start playing with the little boys playing with the ball, but we're all trying to get in a Five Below. And I was so mad because a part of me was like, don't you see this young woman struggling to open this door? And because like, I had to just, like, the mom is struggling to open the damn door because she has a toddler and she has a kid running around. And so I go and grab the door to help her because she's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, why are you apologizing? There are 2 able-bodied men right here who could open that door, and they're not doing that. That upset me. And also, I just realized, I was like, maybe I shouldn't be around people today, because a part of me wanted to throw shade and be like, yeah, there's these men right here who can open the door. But I just opened the door, and I held it open for the guys too, because I was like, apparently y'all need the door open for you too. And one of the guys said, oh, my bad, I'm gonna open the door. But I'm like, you already saw this woman struggle. I don't like it when people watch young mothers struggle. And I don't mean young as in age young. I mean young mothers as in they have young children. And I mean, I don't like when people watch anybody struggle. So I go in, and I'm just shopping, and one of the young men is like asking the person at the store, like, are y'all hiring? And in my head, I was like, I wouldn't hire you. You come in the store looking like this. And now, see, now I'm sounding like a grandma. I done got 3 gray hairs. Okay, 5. And now I done turned into a grandma, where I'm like, these young men need to open the doors for young ladies, and these young people don't know anything about customer service, because the person from the first UPS store, she looked about my age. And the fact that she wasn't even willing to read the email or help me made me so upset. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a grandma. Maybe that's why my jokes aren't funny. Maybe that's why my clothes are so frumpy. I'm sorry to the viewer. I usually have my existential crisis at 10 a.m., but I've been trying to keep it together all day because I wanted to mix it up a little. Have my existential crisis in the evening. That was not a good look. I think I'll move it back up to my regular 10 a.m. crisis, because now I'm like wondering if I'm old. And, you know, I think about who taught me how to operate in the world. One, Animal Crossing, definitely. A lot of the video games I played just helped me understand social interactions. Because you learn when people do and don't want to be bothered with you on video games, because you'll interact with some people. They're very kind, they're very nice to you. Others, they're like, get out my face. And also, like, I love reading advice columns. Like, love it. Maybe it is a problem. Like, Emily Post, Carolyn Hack's The Back of 17 magazine. Growing up, I just read all these advice columns because I'm like, what do you do when this thing happens? I'm not experiencing this in my real world because I'm usually going at home and I'm going to school. And I have a very limited group of friends and a very limited view. So magazines, y'all are the only things that can help me figure out how do I do life. And I learned a lot about like decorum and things like that. And like when Fred and I went to the wedding on Saturday, I said, I know where to sit because there was a seating chart over there. And Fred was like, how did you know there's a seating chart? I was like, you haven't been to a wedding? And he was like, well, you've been to more weddings than me. And I'm like, not that many. I have not been to that many more weddings than you, but I do know that a lot of weddings have seating charts. And during cocktail hour is when you locate that seating chart and you find out where you sit. And also we had the formal table setting, and I explained the formal table setting to him and how you're supposed to eat. And he was like, people just use those etiquette rules to make themselves look better than other people and blah blah blah. And I don't agree with that. I think that decorum is important. Like, I know earlier some of these vlogs I've been vlogging in my pajamas. And I never hardly wear a bra in these videos. But I'm showing myself to the world. I'm showing myself to the world. My hair undone and, just like a muggle. And earlier, I had that pretty dress on and I felt more regal and I felt more refined and composed. But in just everyday life, I am more casual. And maybe I understand I do not always look like Miss prim and proper, but there are things that I learned that I really think that other people should know about and just be aware of, because it's helpful. It's helpful when you go in and you know how to act. And these people these days, they do not know how to act. And it's basic things like opening the door for people who need the door open for them. And it's not, I don't think it's sexist to be like, for the men to open the door. Especially if you see a woman with children, you see someone elderly, you see someone struggling. I don't even look male or female. Just look at this person, that you just show respect for them is when you open a door. A lot of decorum comes from respect. You respect the workers that are around you by arranging your plate and arranging your fork and knife in a certain position to show your workers that you are done with your meal. You say thank you, you tip, you smile, you send these signals to show your respect and your regard for these people. That's how I view it. I don't look at it as being stuffy, and I don't look down on people who don't know table manners. I sort of just wonder, why did my mom put me in so many etiquette classes? My mom, she literally sometimes made me feel like I was the youngest daughter from Dave the Barbarian. I think her name was Faye. She was the little monkey child who was just unruly. My mom always made it seem like I was just this unruly wild child who needed shaping and things like that. And I mean, maybe I am her little rebellious youngest daughter or whatever, but at the end of the day, I'm still a queen, and there are rules that I've learned that I still keep close to my heart, others that I don't. There are some, okay? For example, shaving. I don't shave my armpits. Last time I shaved my armpits, senior prom. I shaved it. A month later, my armpit hair was back, and I said, never again. Never. Why would I do that? And my mom's like, young ladies shave their armpits. And I was like, well, just cancel out the anatomy, cancel out how I dress. I'm not a young lady apparently because I don't shave my armpits. And I think how my standards for how I should look for myself are for me and my own definition of femininity and womanhood that I shouldn't impose on other people. That's and I think that's the line between decorum, where you're how you're acting in response to other people versus like acceptance and respect. Like, I think there should be social norms that are established that just give a basic round of respect towards people. Like, I like it when people come as they are, and I know Sunday's best is a term that we use for when you come to church and you wear your absolute best because that's what you wear before the Lord in your community. And my mom told me that when she was young, one of the older ladies in the church was like, we can't talk bad about somebody if they wear jeans and t-shirt to church because it's their Sunday best, their definition of their best. And that's what's important to me, is like you come in and present it as your best. And, where does correction come in? That is my question. Because, like today, I didn't say anything about those young men who didn't open the door. They corrected themselves a little too late because I'm already opening the door. This woman is walking in, and they're like, "Oh, that's right. I'll open the door." You saw this woman struggle. Now you're opening it. She's already in the store. Her child is about to go tear up another display. And then you show up and ask for a job, and you just don't look your best. And it's funny because the person was like, "We're not hiring," and she said it so flatly, and I thought it was funny because like that Five Below, they've been working on it for like a couple of months. They've been building it for a couple of months, and they did have a sign that said, like opening the store soon, careers now, applying, blah blah blah. And I'm like, how did you miss this for months? They took the sign down, and now you want to ask if they're hiring. Like, they're just, that person I think was just delayed. They must have been delayed, because it's like, it took you a minute to open this door for this woman. It took you a minute to finally get up and apply for a job at Five Below. So, and that's a part of being a defined, elegant woman is grace. And I will give this person grace. So that's why I'm not going into details about like describing them, because that's another thing I hate. I hate it when I'm telling a story like this and my family would interrupt me and be like, were they black or white? What they look like? Were they your age? Were they blah, blah, blah? And, I know we like to use these things to build our prejudices, but sometimes, and a lot of times, I will tell this story and someone would be like, oh, they must have been black. And I'm like, no, this is a white person who did this. Or this is an older person. Like, I interact with so many different types of people that I refuse to just like be like, it is this type of person that's doing this type of thing. I'm like, no, you got caught slipping. And honestly, I look back on today, the only thing that I wish I had said was that I wish I had gone back in that UPS store and told that woman thank you for being kind. That is the one thing that has haunted me today, because I'm like, she was so kind, and I want her to know that some of the people on the other side of town are screwing up. And like, another thing, this was a UPS store in Old National Highway, and people are like, oh, Old National, it's South Fulton, it's ratchet, it's ghetto. Why was I treated better at Old National than I was in Tucker? And like, both of these women were my skin tone, so I can't be like, oh, I was racially profiled or anything like that. Like, no, I wasn't. I just think it was a matter of training, because the person's manager at the other UPS store was there, and even he was like, no, we can't do that. Like, she looked at him and co-signed, and that's sort of reason why I couldn't get too mad at that interaction, because as a manager, I love managers who like vouch for their employees, even though they were dead wrong. They definitely could do that. Like, they could do it. They could do it. It's just, I guess there's layers to it. And at the end of the day, did I want this to be a big deal? No. I want to get my package shipped off. I shouldn't have gotten Five Below anyways because I didn't need anything in that store. I love how Five Below has a lot of cute little strawberry stuff, and I got some inspiration for my craft projects, but I don't need to be buying anything in Five Below. I don't. As an environmentalist, as someone who doesn't need a hot Cheeto face mask, I don't need to be in Five Below. I am not the target audience. I just wanted to go look around and see stuff in there. And that's what I did. And I was in Five Below to look at stuff and then look my way back out. I wasn't there to be Miss Emily Post and teach this young man how to open doors for this young woman with 2 children running around. Listen, I wasn't there to pull that man aside and be like, baby, I don't think you should be asking for a job when you look like that. This is not my job. So, what would I have done? You got into a fight in the evening news over an interaction that doesn't matter? Yeah. But also on the vein of positive customer service interactions, I wanted to talk about my experience at CVS because I have my health insurance is Aetna, which is through CVS, and they give me like a discount on CVS health supplies, and I also get like an allowance to spend at CVS. And I went last week, and I ended up picking the wrong stuff because I misread the catalog. But the cashier was so kind about it. And I also was like, hey, I also get 20% off of CVS health products with my card. And she was a little confused, but she still scanned it, and I still got the 20% off. And she's like, oh, cool, I didn't know that. Like, I knew this part, but I didn't know that part. She was like understanding and willing to learn. And like I said, versus a UPS interaction where there was like a no, we can't do that. I'm like, girl, this email is from UPS. Versus CVS, where they're like, and understand that these national companies, corporate will do some things that they don't tell everybody. So when everybody's down here trying to work and live their everyday lives, and they're handed some things that they're like, I don't know about this, I like that they're willing to learn. And like today at CVS, it was a different guy, but he was very kind, and he was actually like, hey, this is 50% off. You don't actually, it's better than your 20% off. And it was actually buy one, get 50% off. And he explained it to me, and he was very kind, and he did separate transactions for it to make sure one got all of my medical benefits, and the other was just 20% off. It's little things like that. Little things that remind me that there's hope out there in the world. Back to me going to Grandma Jonelle. And maybe I am getting old. I'm a quarter of my way through 26, and things do feel different at times when I think about how I view people, and I'm thinking about how far away high school was, and the people who are younger than me, and the people who are not so much older than me, and it's not the same. People looked at me when I first started my job at 23 and was like, oh my god, you're so young. And 23 was young to be running a nonprofit and filing paperwork and handling employees. That is outrageous, but I was doing that. And it's 3 years later, it's 26. There are people who are way older than me who are like, you're so young. I am so young. But now I'm, I went from being my youngest employee to being, in the middle age of my employees. I have, several employees who are younger than me. And, they're adults. They're functioning adults. They're out of college. College is some of it isn't a blur to me now. And I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. At 26, am I supposed to be telling jokes and owning a house, or having children, having 7 employees? Is that what 26-year-olds do? I don't know. And am I supposed to be mad at people for opening the door or not opening the door? I'm gonna wrap this episode up because y'all not gonna watch me spiral. I will spiral and come back to y'all next week. And, maybe I won't talk about how old I am. Maybe I won't have new grades. Maybe I will actually tell jokes like I've been meaning to do on most of these episodes. But you guys have a wonderful week. Don't think too hard about how old you are. And I'll see you guys later.